What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pop One Sports. As you can tell, I am flying solo today.
I was thinking about flying solo too.
Parker is at school today and he's given me full permission to record this video. What we're talking about right now is PSA. And I want to make up an acronym for PSA. A little frustrated. If you saw our previous video, which we'll have a link in the description, where we revealed a PSA submission that I sent, and I sent this without Parker knowing, and we were looking at the grades that I got from PSA. The grades were okay. I don't know if it was a PSA fail. It was definitely like a PSA, it's a PSA, it was okay. But the one that I was not surprised, just very unclear on was this. On this submission, what I got here, and for those that didn't check out that video, basically I got this back and on the label it says mini size RQ. As you can tell, that is not in a slab like this one. You know, it's in the original card saver that I sent in, and I wanted it to be slab. Even if it was authentic or authentic altered, I wanted it to be slab. That's why I sent it off. So to get it back like this, I was just confused.
Just to confuse matters.
So after contacting PSA customer support, customer service, I wanted to share what I learned, because I have to assume that I'm not the only one that made this mistake, but also what I learned, that this is something that is not blatantly obvious whenever you are doing a PSA submission. I thought I had all my bases covered. I thought I did everything I needed to do, to get this thing back in a slab, even if it wasn't a 5 or a PSA 6. Like I at least want it to be slabbed.
I just want it.
This is what I learned. So after I sent this off and I get it back, I log in, and with PSA, you can log in and you can see your grades if you want to peek beforehand, or if you just want to be able to look whenever you want. So let me go ahead and pull up the submission here so that you can see what I see. So you can see here, this is when I get this and I see this whole N6 minimum size requirement. So I see that there and I'm like, what in the world is N6 minimum size requirement? Because I'm expecting that if it is trimmed, if there's something wrong with it, they're gonna say authentic altered or something, right? So I don't really know what that means. So then, go to Google, type in the N6 minimum size requirement, and there's a few different forums that I read something on. I think I was on this one here, this blowout card forum, and it said this also on the PSA website, but I wanted to read it from an independent source. It wasn't coming directly from PSA. And I think somewhere here it says, it means that the card is too small to grade from the manufacturer. They said they can try to send it again. This person asked, does it mean that the card is trimmed? Which I realize right now that you can't see what I see. So let me zoom back out there. So does this mean that it's trimmed? I think somebody answered, it just means the card's a little small. Somebody says send it to BGS, yeah. But basically, after I was reading all of this, what I discovered that it didn't, from a PSA standpoint, it didn't seem like the card was trimmed. It felt like it was some sort of defect from the manufacturer.
What?
So I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? So, I take this, I then send a question, asking PSA, what is this, I noticed there's an N6 minimum size requirement. Why did not it get slabbed? And this is how they responded. So it says, minimum size requirement means the card was not produced to factory standards, okay, and therefore is ineligible for a numerical grade. Interesting. In order to be eligible for a grade, then it must be within 1/32 of an inch of a factory standards, blah, blah, blah. If the item received N6, you were not charged for the grading fee, and the card would not be encapsulated. Such an interesting word. Just say slabbed. You have to say encapsulated.
Why did Bob make it so complicated?
I'm glad that I didn't get charged, because when I sent this off, this is when their express was $200, which, funny enough, like the day I got this back, they dropped it down to 150. Whatever. Not really, but you know.
You know what I mean.
Not charged. That's awesome. I'm glad I didn't have to pay $200 to get back my card saver with the label that says mini size RQ. But there was still the fact that I paid to ship this off and I paid to insure it. So I don't remember the exact fee and whatever I paid, but I mean, it was still like, I'm gonna say, granted, I was sending other cards off too, so I'm not gonna say it was the total thing, but let's just say that it was $25 to $50 that I paid to send it off. And I'm sure there was like postage sending it back. So, I mean, it still cost some money and I didn't get it slapped, right? Can we all agree that, you know, I did not get it slapped?
We wholeheartedly agree.
Then I'm like, okay, so that's interesting. So, you know, and I write back and I think I'm really good at asking questions that aren't attacking. So just to clarify, you said that the card is ineligible for a numerical grade. Does this also mean you aren't able to encapsulate the card with a numerical grade with an authentic or authentic altered? You know, which I see all the time on eBay, and I'm sure that, you know, you've seen this too. Thanks for taking time to answer my questions. And then they came back and it says, for minimum mini size requirement cards, we would be able to encapsulate it as authentic. In these cases, we will not automatically encapsulate it as it does have to be requested on the submission beforehand. And that's the thing I really wanted to talk about. Has to be requested on the submission beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Because I see that and I'm like, where was I supposed to do that? Because I thought I checked all the right boxes and did everything I needed to do. Like, I didn't think there's anything that I missed that, you know, that was gonna send the card back slabbed, you know? Like, I didn't see a box that said, oh, in the event that this comes back as N6 mini size requirement, be sure to send that back in a slab as authentic. So like, I'm like, okay, I guess I was supposed to do that. So then I go back on PSA's website and, you know, just to show you, like, this is when you are the submission process for those that haven't seen this. I'm going through this, and so this is what it looks like. You know, I select the regular or small, I guess I did the small size card, which obviously was right since it was a smaller card than it should have been. But you click next, and when you get to this next screen, you know, this is where you are then now selecting, you know, art grading. That's what I selected. And then you have these different options of no autograph, dual service, card grade only, blah, blah, blah. So no autograph authentication, you know, is what I selected. And like, I'm on here, I don't see anywhere where like it says to slab the card if it is authentic altered or unauthentic, whatever the terminology is. So like, I'm going through here, right? And I'm not seeing this.
Bart, are you seeing this?
And no, there's express pricing, all this stuff. And click on here. And then the next screen is where you start to then enter in the cards. So I go back and I'm like, all right, Miss PSA person, you know, I let them know, hey, I'm going through the online submission form, did not see where that I was supposed to do that. There is nowhere where it says I'm supposed to check that box to make sure that it gets slabbed.
Check that.
So then this is the last email that I got. And this is the part I'm like, really? Okay, good afternoon. The request would be made in the comments notes section of the submission form here. The note that would be made is, if unable to issue a numerical grade, please encapsulate as authentic altered.
What?
So this is like, wait a second. This is where I'm like, I'm just confused because this is kind of like the additional comments section. You know, it's like if you're ordering something like from DoorDash and, you know, you want to make sure that they include extra buffalo sauce, you know, this is where you put that in. You know, if you're getting Chinese and you want some extra chopsticks or some sweet and sour sauce, like, this is where you put that in. To me, there should have been some sort of box that said, yes, I want to pay. Like, I sent this off. You know, I paid money to ship this off. I've filled out this form. I therefore agree that if there's something wrong with the card, that you will slab it and mark it as authentic or authentic altered. that's just my thoughts. That's just my opinion. You know, but who am I? So then here's where it is. So I continue to go through, you know, this submission form, and it was on this form. Here it is, right here. This is where I was supposed to put in what she said. If unable to grade, please authentic alter, blah, blah, blah. So if I would have just done that, then it would have came back as in a slab, either as authentic or authentic altered. And I don't know, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe there was somewhere else that it said that you should do this. I didn't see it. And I have to assume that I am not the only one.
Am I not the only one?
So in the event that you are submitting cards, it could be a lot of cards, it could be just a handful of cards, but if there's a chance that something could be authentic altered and you want to have it slabbed, that's what you got to do. So now it's like, here I am, I have 3 cards slabbed from PSA. This one is not. What am I going to do? Well, I'm actually going to send this off again. And the reason being is because of what is in this box. So this has another surprise that I'm going to send off to PSA. I don't think Parker knows what's in this box. So what the plan is that we're going to do another little reveal, letting you guys know what's in this box. And obviously it has something to do with PSA. So if you want to find out what's going on here, let me know. Actually, don't let me know. Just subscribe. Hit that notification bell. You know what to do. But also, before we get onto this surprise, let me know what you think about the whole PSA not slabbing because I didn't fill out the other comment section with those very specific instructions. Do you think PSA needs to update their submission form? I mean, I know what the answer is. I'm just curious of your thoughts. Like, did I miss it? And if I did, I'll listen. I will listen to anything that you want to say, because I'm open. I'm willing to admit that maybe sometimes I do things too quick. I don't read all the fine print. I thought I did a pretty dang good job either way. Didn't get slabbed, but it's going to be, we're gonna find out why that is because I'm sending it off what's within this box. So once again, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can find out. Jeff, without my sidekick Parker from Pop One Sports, till next time, peace.